All right, Joe, April 16th.
February.
I know, what was I thinking? April 16th,
time's flying,
2016.
isn't it, PK?
Yeah, no doubt about it, just like your hairline.
What?
Well, Joe, the first match tonight we had, actually, it was supposed to be at Heroes versus Villains, but it turned out it was tonight. It was Jamar Anderson versus Keith Cage.
That's right, Jamar Anderson. Man, I tell you, I love the compound. I love that tag team. And here we are, he was taking on Keith Cage. The 7th grade sensation decided to step away from his social studies homework and practice how to write cursive and try and step into a man's world, into the wrestling world, and it didn't work.
Well, Joe, David Garrison called him out, and while Keith Cage was distracted by Mac Mosley, he turned around, Jamar Anderson hit him with his finishing maneuver, and got the pin.
Well, you know 12-year-olds, so they're easily distracted.
Yeah, kind of like you, Joe, when you see something shiny.
What? Oh, BK, you know what
Joe, then we had Jackson Carter versus Brody Dillinger. And I'll tell you something. Carter, he didn't do so well.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you something. There's a reason why us, the Bad Boys Club, there's a reason why we lose sometimes, BK. Because the other people cheat.
You're losers?
No, we're not losers. We're winners. What are you talking about, PK? No, it's because there's cheaters out there. That's why.
And you guys never cheat?
Never.
Okay, despite the video evidence.
Oh, PK, that's just video.
Well, Joe, what happened was Jackson Carter wound up knocking out the referee. So then Brody Dillinger, he went ahead and hit the Haggis hanger.
He should have had a glass jaw.
And wound up pinning Jackson Carter. So, Joe, does that mean Brody Dillinger could ultimately have a shot at the Ultimate Championship? He beat an Ultimate Champion.
No, PK, Brody Dillinger is not some big star on the rise. He's not some shooting star like you want to think he is. No, he's just a bum that gets lucky sometimes.
He's been getting lucky a lot, Joe. I'll tell you this much. He is in the tournament for the Corporate Championship that's going to start at Culture Fest
Not gonna make it.
on the 30th prior to Heroes versus Villains. It's going to be here at the O. He's going to be in that tournament, and Joe, makes you wonder if he might be our next Corporate Champion.
No, PK, I don't wonder about that. I don't wonder about that at all. He's not going to win. He's not going to be the champion. Losers aren't champions. Brody Dillinger. I mean, look, if you want a taste of Brody Dillinger, why don't you all just go home and watch General Ben or Grizzly Adams, whatever his name is. Yeah, he looks like a Charles Manson family member. He needs to cut his hair and shave and get a job.
Well, Joe, then Slim J came out, and he called out Kit Bryson. Kit Bryson basically said, hey, man, you don't get a shot because, I've already beat you. Of course, he grabbed his tights when he did, but I've already beat you, and I beat Will Caution 6 times. All of a sudden, the music comes on. Here comes Will Caution. So Kit Bryson goes, I'll take you on, Will Caution. And, Joe, why don't you tell us what happened?
BK, I'll tell you something. I refuse to tell you what happened. So I'll tell you some injustice is what happened. That's what happened.
Injustice or injustice?
Injustice. BK, will you stop correcting my grammar?
Are they unfamous or infamous?
Oh, will you shut up, BK? The point is that...
The point is Will Caution beat Kit Bryson, and now he is the Generations Champion, and at Heroes vs. Villains, he's going to have to take on Keith Cage and Michael Madsen for the Generations title.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you something. Kit Bryson should be in that match, too. Because, there's an asterisk next to that victory with Will Caution.
Because it was a straight, legitimate victory.
No, it's because he cheated.
Well, Joe, then we had Z taking on Curtis Coleman. Now, Curtis Coleman's real interesting. He is more than willing to take on the Monster Z as long as it wasn't a title shot for his corporate championship.
That's right. Monster Z has to earn that title shot. And maybe if he can beat him, if he ekes out a victory, then maybe he deserves that title shot.
Well, ultimately, Curtis Coleman did win because Jackson Carter, who is supposed to be facing the Monster Z at Heroes vs. Villains, he hit the Monster Z with Chive's platter. And then, of course, Curtis Coleman was able to get the pin, but the Monster Z wasn't done there. Jackson Carter came in the ring, and the Monster Z had his way with him.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you something. Yeah, he threw a temper tantrum. I'll tell you something. The Monster Z, you know what he was, PK?
A winner.
No, he was a sore loser. That's what he was. A sore loser.
I thought he was a sore winner by the time he took out Jackson Carter.
No, he was a sore loser. I'll tell you something. You show me a sore loser, I'll show you a loser.
Well, Joe, then we had a Golden Ticket Battle Royal. And how this all got started was Jonathan Feltner, he had called out Marcus Adams into the ring. So then he and Marcus Adams talked a little bit about the upcoming match at Heroes vs. Villains between him and CTMD and Anthony Marinelli and The Royal for the Tag Team Championship. And then all of a sudden, he does a low blow to Marcus Adams, at which point Anthony Marinelli then comes in and says, hey, look, you're going to be in a match tonight. You're going to be in the Golden Ticket Battle Royal. Jonathan Feltner comes in. Anthony Marinelli comes in. It was a great Battle Royal, ultimately. But, Joe, it came down to 2 members of the Bad Boys Club.
That's right, because we're the best, and we're the only ones that remained in the Battle Royal, PK, because we're unstoppable. That's right, Ditch Diggers, we're unstoppable.
Well, what happened was Curtis Coleman and Jake Hughes decide we're going to eliminate ourselves at the same time, so it's a tie like when Rod Bolt and Brody Dillinger won.
See, true sportsmanship.
Well, as they were kind of tiptoeing as like, hey, we're going to jump out at the same time, holding hands with interlaced fingers, by the way, very cute.
That was very...
Wasabi comes into the ring, and Wasabi winds up eliminating both of them and winds up winning the golden ticket. So welcome back, Wasabi, and congratulations on your victory.
Yeah, congratulations on your cheap victory, because the only reason why he won is because he attacked him from behind. And the only reason why you win against us, the Bad Boys Club, is because you cheated, and all you Cornelian can collectors out there know that.
Well, Joe, now you got to wonder, is Wasabi going to cash in that golden ticket at Heroes vs. Villains?
Oh, who cares? Yeah, we'll see about that, but you know what? He's not welcome back. Unwelcome to you.
No, Joe. He's unwelcome to you. But for me and the rest of the fans, they seem very excited on him being back.
Oh, sure, give the fans a voice.
Well, then Jake Hughes took on Adrian Phillips, and Taco was the special guest referee.
Oh, yeah, biased referee, by the way, I'm going to say. Did you see how Adrian Phillips was hugging him and welcoming him? Boy, I tell you, talk about brown-nosing. That's the only way that Adrian Phillips is going to win.
Well, Joe, Adrian Phillips, he wound up winning. Now, it turns out Taco wasn't Taco. It turned out to be Rod Bolt. Rod Bolt and Jake Hughes wind up going at it.
Once again, see, it takes a biased referee, it takes lack of referees, it takes cheating to beat anybody from us, the Bad Boys Club.
So Rod Bolt challenged Jake Hughes to a match at Heroes vs. Villains. It'll be an unsanctioned match. Yeah. So that should be very interesting to see the two of them finally get it on in the ring.
That's right. No rules. It'll be great to see Jake Hughes just pounce on that little guy.
Well, Joe, I'll tell you something. In the last match, it was Chris Damian. He had come out to talk about Heroes vs. Villains. All of a sudden, the Herald comes out, starts, waxing philosophical. Then the two Squires come into the ring, and they wind up attacking Chris Damian, so they go ahead and make a match out of it. Well, one of the Squires turned out to be the White Knight.
That's right. I'll tell you something, the White Knight is brilliant. He is great at physical warfare. He's great at psychological warfare. I'll tell you something, it's great to see him beat down that Chris Damian. Chris Damian thinks he's all that. He's nothing, BK. And I can't wait till Heroes vs. Villains when the White Knight goes out there and he proves that Chris Damian is not this great super American hero.
Well,
he's
Joe,
human.
He went to go finish off the White Knight when he suffered a low blow from the other Squire. So then they start beating up on Chris Damian. And all of a sudden, our former Ultimate Champion, who we haven't seen in a ring in a while, who was in the audience, just kind of enjoying the show, runs into the ring and appears to be helping to defend Chris Damian.
It was
and once he got Chris Damian up on his feet, he winds up clotheslining him and taking him down.
And it was beautiful. Appalling and then beautiful. I'll tell you something, BK. I am so happy to see our former Ultimate Champion back. He has always been a great wrestler. I tell you something, PK. Chad Silva, I am so excited to see this guy. I've always liked him, PK. Never had a bad thing to say about him. And I'll tell you something, PK. I am so excited to see him back in action because he's one of the greatest I've ever seen. And I cannot wait to see what else he can do in the OSWA.
Now, folks, if you really think that this is all true, go watch our previous recaps with Chad Silva and see what Joe really has to say. But for now,
you guys don't
we do have Chad Silva here to talk about why he returned and why he attacked Chris Damian.
It's all water under the bridge.
What's up,
Chad
boys?
Silva, welcome back. I tell you
Nice
something.
to be back. But before we get into all this, I'm going to do something that the recap has never seen before. Tell you to step out of my camera.
Oh! See you later, PK.
That's better.
Oh, much better. I tell you, man, this camera just got more beautiful.
All right, I'm going to get right down to it.
Oh, right, yeah.
All the questions. Why, Chad? Why? Oh, that's so crazy, right? I want to keep it short, sweet, because CK's over here crying. I'm taking his camera time.
He cries a lot.
I'm back. Thank you.
Chad Silva, I tell you, more beautiful
Come on,
words
moron.
have never been spoken. Welcome back, PK. I tell you something, PK, we had a wonderful interview.
Yeah, it was real long.
The bottom line is Chad Silva is back.
Nobody at 60 Minutes is going to be losing their job anytime soon based on your interview skills. Well, Joe, I'll tell you something. In 2 weeks, April 30th, we've got Culture Fest here at the O Arena starting at 12 o'clock. And then at 6 o'clock, now, Joe, during Culture Fest, not only there's going to be music and events, there's going to be the Corporate Championship Tournament. That's going to lead up to see who faces Curtis Coleman for the Corporate Championship at Heroes vs. Villains. The doors for that opens at 6 o'clock here. Heroes vs. Villains will start at 7. And folks, all this stuff is going to come to a head. We look forward to seeing our fans. Come here for Culture Fest. Have a good time. I'll be here. Joe might be here if he can stop flexing in the mirror. And folks, we'll see you in 2 weeks at Heroes vs. Villains.